In this video, we are going over 5 football habits that prevent players going pro, even if they're a good player. If you're doing these things and also not doing other certain things, it's gonna be so hard for you to even get close to the pro level. So we're gonna be going over what each of the things are you need to avoid and also give you some things that you can start doing to make it more likely that you'll get to that level. That's coming up next. What's up, guys? Welcome to Simply Soccer, where we are releasing weekly soccer tip, technique, and training videos to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss any of the content that we release. Also, if you're not in my free ebook Game Changer that gives you 33 different ways to improve your game, you can get that down below for free. Anyway, let's get into the first habit. Now, the first habit is one that so many players are reluctant to do because this is a non-football related habit in the sense that it's not working with the ball, it's not working on your skills, it's not working on position specific stuff or your fitness. This is something that I kind of luckily developed by chance in my own life, but didn't do enough deliberately with this, and I really recommend you do this deliberately, and it's not networking. Look, in the game, knowing the right people are going to open the door for you to get trials, to get opportunities to be pro. There are so many players who are probably good enough to play at the pro level, but just don't have the connections and contacts. Now, if you don't have them, that doesn't mean you shouldn't go out and find them, but the reason a lot of players don't have these contacts or connections isn't because they're unlucky or anything like that. It's because they're not proactive in finding these contacts, in making these connections. You know, in a day and age with social media where you can do so much, there really is no excuse not to have connections and contacts with coaches, other players that know coaches, certain agents, scouts, whatever it is, because it's just so easy in this day and age. You know, when you're going to trials, when you're going to camps, when you're on certain teams, you need to be doing your best to create connections, create those contacts that may help you out later in life. You may never know. Your coach at 14 may be someone who helps you go pro when you're 22. You just never know. So get in the habit of just being a very personable, friendly person who's able to connect and make those connections, because those are going to be some of the most important things you develop as you try and get higher in the game. Again, so many players who are probably good enough, you know, physically, skillfully, to make it to the pro game sometimes don't because they don't have those connections, they never develop them, and they're not willing to develop them now. Now, the next one is kind of similar, but it's trialing and getting your name out there. It's not just enough to know a coach here or there. You need to be actively going to events, going to different things where you can meet these people, where you can get your name out there and show people that you're a good player. Because again, if you're a good player but no one knows about it, no one's seen you play, or there's not enough people seeing you play, they can't talk amongst each other and go, yeah, that guy's pretty good, we should get him on the team, or that guy, or whatever. And guess what? When coaches like you, when certain coaches like you, they will endorse you to other coaches. And I had this happen before where my college coach would endorse me to certain club teams, and even with a fairly poor trial or average trial, they would still give me a shot and I would do better the next time and still be able to make the team. You know, having those kind of connections, going to different events and people seeing, you know, maybe he's having an off day, but I've seen him play multiple times and I know he's quality, is really going to help you get that benefit of the doubt that is really hard to get when you're in this game. Because a lot of times you go to a trial, you go to a tryout, you go to an event, you have one bad performance. If that coach has no reference to any of your other performances or how good you normally perform, then guess what? You're out of there. But by trialing, by going to events, by making a name for yourself, so coaches start to get used to seeing you going, yeah, this guy's quality. Like 8 out of 9 times he's been to things I've been to, he has been absolute quality. You know, that is going to get your name out there, and that's going to help you, one, make those connections and also put you on different teams' radars. So of course you need to be good enough, but go to trials, go to events. You know, if you can afford college camps, I can't recommend that enough if you can afford it, because usually if you go to a good one, a lot of coaches are there. In fact, I got on my college team because I went to a different college camp that he was helping out at, and he ended up recruiting me because I had a very good performance there, or had a very good full camp there, and that was enough to convince him to want to start tracking me and recruiting me. And this happened when I was like 15 or 16 years old, and so he was recruiting me for, you know, 2 or 3 years because he saw me at an event. event, a camp. So getting to these if you can. Now, if you can't afford it, just play around your area as much as you can on as many teams as you can. Get your name out there. Next mistake is not playing enough. And this can be a big one. And I mean in like actual matches against other fully developed, teams in a proper league. This could be in a semi-pro league. This could be, in the NPSL. This could be, just on a really good men's club team. But you need to be playing in full matches, not only for your own development, but again, that's where the coaches will be. That's where, your name will be getting out there, going to actually play in real matches. Playing pickup matches is fine if you want to play for fun. Playing with your mates or whatever, that's still going to be good for your development in a way, but you need to be playing on a properly organized team in a properly organized league. Now, luckily, they have these for pretty much any level, from amateur to semi-pro to even if you're a collegiate athlete, you can play in the summer on some of these teams, as long as they aren't professional in nature. For example, I made a team. Unfortunately, I couldn't play because I was injured. That was a feeder team for the Philadelphia Union in the summer. And that would have been a great thing if I could have actually participated for me to get on the radar of certain coaches. So you want to be looking for teams like this, even in the off season when you're in college, and you want to just make sure you're playing very, very often, because again, that just increases your chances of being seen by a certain coach or even a player who you can make a connection with, who might know a coach or who might know an agent, who might know someone that can get your foot in the door. Again, I know this is all coming back to connections, but you can really never have enough. So make sure you are playing in actual matches that might draw people to them, getting on good teams where it's like, wow, this team is undefeated. They have this guy who's the top goal scorer, or this center defensive mid who's he's amazing, or this center back who's so commanding and just helps this team keep all these clean sheets. You need to be playing in matches to get your name out there. Because the better you can play in actual matches against actual other organized teams, the more likely it is someone will come and watch, or you'll make that connection that's needed to later down the line hopefully help you make the step up. Okay, so this next one is a big one, and I think this is one of the most crippling things for a really good player who has ambitions of going pro, and it's not living the lifestyle before you're there. You see, a person doesn't just wake up one day and is living the lifestyle or is now just doing the training of a pro player. A lot of players that go on to become pro, especially those ones that work really hard to get there, they start living the pro lifestyle way before they actually sign that contract. And that way, when they sign that contract, it's pretty seamless because they're already living such a good lifestyle, already living a lifestyle so close to the professional level, or at least as close as they can get it, that they're not struggling and not finding themselves in the team when they actually get to that level. You need to view yourself as a professional footballer before you ever sign that contract. You need to identify as one so that then your brain goes, okay, I'm a pro footballer. What does a pro footballer eat? You find that out and you start eating that way. How does a pro footballer work out and how often? You find that out and you start moving in that way. What kind of training? All of this kind of stuff, because when you actually identify yourself as a professional level player, you will start acting like that. You will start taking the actions, developing the habits of a pro player. And if you do that long enough, you are going to really increase your chance of getting to that level. And most players don't do this, by the way. This will absolutely give you an edge over time if you live the lifestyle before you actually technically have the lifestyle, before you actually have the contract. And that's the level of dedication it's really going to take to get to that level. But see yourself as it now and live as it now. Final one, guys, is another really important one, and it's keeping the faith and grinding. And you really can't underestimate this, because the fact of the matter is most people will give up before they even get close. And the players that end up making it, they can be doing it for years, grinding, keeping the faith, knowing that they're going to get there. They never waver, they never lose that faith. There might be times where they have the odd moment where they doubt themselves, but they always come back from that to maintain the faith, to believe in themselves. That's what keeps them through the training. That's what keeps them on the eating schedule. That's what keeps them from doing other things like socializing and going to certain things they might normally, or what most people their age will be doing, instead to go to practice, instead to go to the gym, instead to do a recovery session, to do a game analysis, whatever it is. But you have to 100% believe you're gonna make it, because if you don't go in with full faith, then you're not going in fully committed. You're going in with the, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I will give it a try, versus I know I'm gonna do it, I know it's only a matter of time, I'm gonna give it my all until that moment comes. You can see how those two different mindsets are gonna lead to two completely different results. Where if there's always that nagging little doubt in the back of your mind, you may not put in as much as you would the other way around. You may not stick to it. You may, do a few sessions a week instead of, really organizing it and doing all the sessions you need to do, or the recovery or whatever. But when you fully believe, I know I'm gonna make it, I have full faith, I know if I keep doing the right practices every single day over and over again, see myself as that pro, live the lifestyle, keep making those connections, that those things will build over time, and I will sign that contract. And even if I don't, I will at least have built up incredible habits that are going to serve me for a lifetime. But they have that unwavering faith and belief, for the most part, that they're going to make it. They can see themselves as it now, and they hustle and grind and focus on that one thing. They're not trying to do 50 different things. They're not trying to balance things out. They are committed to the lifestyles of a professional footballer, and they have complete faith that they're going to make it, knowing and believing in themselves. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know in the comments which one of these habits, which one of these mistakes do you make the most and need to improve? And also let me know how you're going to improve it, because it's not just enough to be aware of it, you need a plan of action. So awareness, let me know what it is in the comments, confirm it by doing that, and then have a plan. Be like, okay, well, maybe I'm not making connections, so I'm gonna start doing this now. I'm gonna start going up to the coaches, introducing myself, whatever it is, put that in the comments. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out the other two videos I put up on screen if you want to continue improving your game and standing out on the pitch. As always, make sure you hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next video.